different aspect of how they come to life, and they don't really, like you, right? You don't realize your potential in your brain until you utilize it. And that's what I like to do in my speeches.
So
I spoke on leadership, and I think leadership has a new meaning nowadays. Not really a new meaning. If you look back to some of the original Roman emperors, they really cared about their people. They really showed love. They really connected with them. They weren't dictators, to say. They didn't abuse their power. And they really gave the power that their people gave to them, they gave it back to them. Well, in return, it was a cycle. So the more love they received from their people, or they gave it to their leaders, and it was just a cycle. Yeah. And that's how an organization grows. That's how a community grows. And I guess just in talking with that, talking to them about it, you're trained to be a soldier. You're trained to be hard, right? In your heart, you're trained to put on a no fear mentality. But you know, me myself, I've ran automobile dealerships, organization for the past 10 years of my life, and I know what it takes to be a good leader. And I can honestly tell you, there's been positions that I've taken that you don't have all the answers, and you look up and you don't even know how you're going to do it sometimes, because it's uphill all the way. But we're going to make mistakes. I don't care if we make 100, 1,000 mistakes. And just do me a favor. They're like, "What's that, sir? Don't make the same mistake more than once, and we'll be okay." Mm-hmm. So I think just giving them that grace to make a mistake is like, it gives them that padding to say, and people respond to that. And another thing is, when you have a victory, we just celebrated it. And I think when I went and spoke to answer your question, when I spoke at the NCO, it's, you know, you see it, right? Some of them look tough and some of them look that, but they're human like us. And I think that's what people forget. We're all people. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, New Zealand, from Africa. Everybody has a heart.
Yes.
And there's two things that everybody wants in this world: to be loved, mm-hmm, and to be appreciated. And when you're loved and you're appreciated, there's this, say if this is your capacity as a leader, well, just by raising your love, by raising your appreciation, you go up 2 levels of leadership. Over 55% of employees here in the States, and I don't know what the stats are in New Zealand, but are disengaged in corporate America. And they're disengaged. They're disengaged because, you know, the way that corporations are run is they're not run the right way. You're trying to run an organization based on profits, and anytime you put profits before people, it's not going to work. And unfortunately, in America, they've put profits before people for too many years already. So that was an eye opener. I kind of just, my goal in life was to save up money and to save enough money to put a down payment on a dealership. That was my dream, to own an automobile dealership. Mm-hmm. And I was doing automobiles. I've been running dealerships actually for the last 10 years, and I've been in the automotive industry for almost 20 years. So in running dealerships, you know, that was my heart. I think for the last couple of years, I kind of just got a little burned out in that. Mm-hmm. And but I think it's because, you know, just life changes, and sometimes you don't realize it, but that's all. You're in your environment, so you feel comfortable. That's something that I try to do, and just meditate and reflect on life. And I remember I was I can remember I used to have a lot of little puppies. And I remember my dad would bring me puppies home. Yeah, I love puppies, but it just seemed when every puppy I got, he would run away. He would sneak out, or he would leave, because we wouldn't really. I had a puppy named Fred. I had a puppy named Sam, and I'll never forget. We were leaving. We used to live on the street called Benitez Street, and it was over there off of on the southeast side of San Antonio, kind of 2-story house. And I remember we left, me and my mom. And back in the day, you know, this was, I'm 44, so this was about 37 years ago. Well, the cars back then were humongous, right?
Yeah.
So I would love to go in the back seat, because I would like to look out the back window. Because you could actually lay down in the back window and they wouldn't give you a ticket back then. So I would look back there, and I remember I laid down. I turned back to look back, and I was like, "Hey, Fred's leaving the house." My dog. I could see my little puppy crossing the street, and I was trying to tell my mom, but I think she just ignored me. And sure enough, when I got home, he was gone. So I was sad. So, but I had a lot of puppies, and I was just a regular kid. I always played outside, and that Daniel, he loved to climb trees.
Uh-huh.
I used to love to climb trees so much. I actually fell off a tree and was in a hospital for a week and a half.
Wow.
You want to know the truth?
Well, of course I do.
Man. Honestly, I didn't like myself.
Okay.
I didn't like the person I had become. And I think in stepping back from my own life, and because a lot of times we're busy, right? We got work, we got friends, we got family, we got going out, we got eating dinner, lunch, you got all these things. You got every day you have about 8 levels above Daniel down here, right? Daniel to self-reflect. So I think once I resigned from my job, I had a chance to reflect and see who I was. And I looked in the mirror, and I didn't like that person I saw.
Do you know people who see this few seconds of you, they get you 100%. That's very, very powerful. That's a real honest answer. I'm very, very respectful for you for sharing that. That's power. That's when empower other people, when they hear people like you say something like that.
Yeah, and I just. So I'm going to share this because I had this conversation because my son, we moved him into college yesterday, Texas State, and I think something that my son told me one time was he told me he liked the new me, and it was that. So on our drive, he's going up the highway here by San Antonio to San Marcos, Texas State, and it's about an hour away. And just driving up there, it's like I teared up, he teared up, and it's just like we've bonded so much this past year that it's not just a father-son relationship. It's like we connected, And I said, man, I'm gonna miss you. And I think he needs. I think more children need to see that love, like we talked about, from their parents, because a lot of times we don't really connect with our kids, and then we wonder why our children are maybe not responding the way we want them to, or they're not the people we like them to be as teenagers.
Well,
and I think it comes from confidence. And what I mean by confidence is that whether I do life coaching, business coaching, leadership development, sales training, sales coaching, or all those different aspects of life that I do, and whether you're a leader, a salesperson, any person, once they lose their confidence, they're done. I don't care what you do. You can be a sports athlete, in any industry. Once your confidence is done, you lose it.
Yeah.
So I come from the point of letting them know that if I can instill that confidence to believe in themselves, because if you look at my sign always says, always believe in yourself. So if I can ignite that fire with them to give them a little bit of hope, to believe in themselves, and to give them that little bit of confidence to flame that fire from here to here, then my job was done. What don't I know that I don't know? I don't know how to fill an audience yet of 60,000 people in a stadium, but I'm going to get there.
Good answer.
Thank you for having me. And my last word is this. You weren't born to be average. You weren't born to be mediocre. You were born for greatness.